Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Triple Play Podcast. Coming to you with our flagship sport today in MLB baseball. I'm going to let Nick, since Nick's got the jersey on,
Yes,
I'm going to
sir.
let him tell you what we're talking about today.
We're gonna do updated power rankings as of 11:03. So the Braves are still playing, but I think they're up 3-1 right now. So
It was 4-1 last time I looked,
or
so
four to one. Excuse me.
yep,
Excuse me.
yep. We're
Um,
feeling good. We're feeling
yeah.
good.
Hey, feeling good about it. Feeling good about it. Hopefully,
Yeah,
Brian
lost.
Snicker does not put Kenley Jansen in the ninth. Or unfortunately, I have made a vow to not watch another second race game
I'm
this year.
counting that as a win. We're counting that game as a win the other night. 5 runs down, came back, and then Kenley promptly says, "Nah, guys, it's cool. Just give this one anyway." Bodes well for the Mariners in my power rankings though.
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, for me.
But we're going top 15.
Yep.
And you know, I don't think I think by the time I got to 15, I was like, there's not a lot to talk about at this point about those teams. Like I
Hmm.
think 14, I was like, all right, I could really talk about this, but by the time I got to number 15 now, and before I thought like there was like 17, 18 teams that I could really get a good conversation in on, but now it's kind of starting to weed itself out. We were talking
Hmm.
about that just a second ago.
Yeah. All right. You want to start with your number 15?
My number 15, and they're holding on to 15 just record's sake and just the fact that I want to see them do good, and that's the Baltimore Orioles.
I've got the Orioles a little higher. I've got the White Sox at 15.
Okay, I've got the White Sox at 14.
Okay.
So as far as Orioles are concerned, here lately, just a couple of matchups that they really needed to win that they didn't.
Hmm.
They lost 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays. Um, actually 3 out of the 4 to the Blue Jays. I thought there was an extra game there. It was time to like make sure everything went perfect for the Orioles, and it just didn't go that way.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much, I don't want to say it's said and done because you never know with this team. Like, I love these guys, like these young guys, Adley Rushman, Ryan Mountcastle. I still like
Dude,
guys like Cedric Mullins, even in a little bit of a down from last year, but still a
I
very
was,
respectable season.
I'd say way down from last
Well,
year, but still, like, not bad,
no,
not bad, not bad.
not
But
a bad player, not a guy,
uh,
yeah. So, but I like him, and I wish him the best going forward. I think
yeah.
that this year's kind of done, but next year I hope that they continue to believe in their young core
Hmm.
and just give them the experience they deserve.
I'm excited to see Adley Rutschman play 140 games.
Yeah,
I think he might be maybe not next year, maybe not the year after that, but I think he will join Buster Posey as the only catcher with a 10 more season.
really.
Sometime in his career, absolutely, just because he is an on base machine, so he's going to score a ton of runs. That boosts your WAR big time. He's a great defender, and when you have a high defensive WAR as well, your WAR just overall just skyrockets. I think, and that's what helped Posey so much was he was great on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And the hitting here lately for the Orioles has kind of just
It's
faltered a
fallen
little
off.
bit.
Yeah, it's fallen off a little
Yeah,
bit.
and you expect it. Like they don't have two or three guys that can carry their lineup at any given moment. They
Mm-hmm.
kind of have to piece it together as a unit. Uh, but like you said, I'm interested to see Adley Rushman building a rapport with the other young pitchers in the system
Mm-hmm.
just as the years go on. Like the Orioles, I think it's time to hold on to your pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is not time to continue selling off. If you want to sell off a veteran arm, like if you want to sell off a setup man or a closer or something that's just like tearing it up that season, I get it. But I mean, we gotta hold on to these starters, these young
Yep.
guys. We gotta hold on to these young players and just like see what happens. Like give
Mm-hmm.
yourself an opportunity to do something here,
Yep.
and it's not costing you a lot.
No.
It's not costing you a lot at all. So, and you're putting fans in the stands right now with these
Mm-hmm.
young guys.
And that's the good thing is they have an opportunity, and I think they've put themselves on the radar this year for big time free agents because I think they see, or at least I see the Orioles as a. I still don't think they're completely out of it yet. Completely, like I still think that there's a chance, there's a path for them to make postseason for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I think they're going to have their first 500 season since what 2016, 2015, something like that.
Yeah.
And that alone with all of these cheap young cheap guys, they can and the guys they have in the minor leagues too. You know, they still haven't called up Grayson Rodriguez yet,
Yeah,
who's I think the number one prospect in baseball now with as some of these guys have graduated.
I believe so. Has to be close. If
Yeah,
not,
and I just hey, the Orioles are on the they're on the
for sure. Now, who did you have at 15? You said you had the White Sox.
yeah. This
And
is
I
not
we can talk about them because like I had them at 14,
yeah.
so we can just
We
get
can
right
bridge
into that.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I'm just nothing too crazy for the White Sox. They've had some big injuries. Lance Lynn's been pretty good for the past month,
Hmm.
and you know that's a good sign for them going forward. But just so many injuries. Like this year has just been like just a mid year for them, dude.
Yeah.
It just feels like they haven't even really found like a hot streak at any point in the year, and just kind of stayed right around 500 almost all year.
Yeah. And they lost McClanahan for the year, correct? No, 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 not McClanahan. Crap. Is somebody's hurt for the year? Last time I heard. I can't remember. One of their best pitchers went down, and
Oh, it
I
might
just
be
can't remember who it
Kopech.
was. Okay, might be Kopech. Kopech stays hurt.
Yeah, dude,
Golly,
he
I
really
hate
does.
that.
Yeah, it
I hate
sucks.
that. I love Kopech. You know how I am with on MLB The Show. But now you said you were talking about that and everything, and
Mhm.
now here lately they have been doing what they needed to do to stay in the playoff race. Took 2 out of 3 from the Twins, 2 out of 3 from the Mariners, who I have quite a bit higher in my rankings,
Mhm.
and took 3 out of 4 from an athletics team that you just kind of just have to get the job done
Mhm.
against, and they had a win against the Rockies.
Yeah.
So you know, doing what they need to do. We're looking forward to September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. That's their 3 game series against the Guardians upcoming. But I mean, the White Sox, with guys like Lance Lynn, like you said, guys like actually Kopech actually pitched tonight, so he's fine. So that's good. Anyway,
Yeah.
5 innings, 2 earned. As you can't say enough about the fact that the White Sox always have some guys that bring the heat. Like
Yeah.
they
They have some flamethrowers for sure.
they do, and sometimes you're really going to be on with that, and sometimes you're really going to look foolish with that.
Hmm.
So, like you said, they are kind of an up and down team. They have the talent to make a run. They
Yeah.
to get to the playoffs. They really do. They have the bats. They have the guys. They just kind of have to just put it together, and
Yeah.
and they have to keep riding Mr. Dylan Cease and just ride him to the promised land there. But they're three
Yeah.
back. They're in this race for
Hmm.
sure. 7 out of their last 10. Can't say much, more other than that. So
Yeah.
it's just hard. It's hard to get excited for them. Like the Orioles, I feel like I'm more excited for them, and they're not going to
Yeah.
make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you expect the White Sox with who they have and what they have, and how they've kind of stuck it out with Tony La Russa and stuff. You'd expect them to be a top 10 team in baseball for sure, if not creeping on top five with the
Yeah.
players they have. They should be getting that done. So
Yeah.
so that's why it's a little more mid to talk about them.
Um, I've got the Brewers at 14.
Okay.
Or do you have the Brewers on your list at
I
all?
have them just I have 2 spots up at 12. And just recent play has me on that, and just the fact that I always know that the Brewers are gonna just the Brewers always just bring something to the table at the end of the season that just like I just don't understand how they get it done with their lineup at the end of the season every year. Like it
Yeah,
baffles me how it
but
happens.
then they never do in the playoffs.
I know they get to the playoffs and then it's just like, all
They
right,
just
oh,
peace out.
we see you guys later. We
Yeah.
just we just playing. It was a prank, bro. Um, but you had them at 14, you said?
Hmm. Hmm.
I had the White Sox at 14. Where do you have Cleveland?
I have Cleveland at 12.
Okay, I have them at 13. We can talk about Milwaukee, then we can talk about Cleveland if you'd like to. Actually,
Okay.
well, we might have to talk about your 13
Oh,
team.
my 13 is the Orioles. We've already covered them.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, good. All right, well, I'm ready to talk about Milwaukee if you are. I'll let you go first.
I mean, the name value in their pitching staff brings something to the
You're
table,
right.
but
You're right. Name value. I like that.
I mean, they're how many games behind the Padres? They're 2 games
Uh,
back of the Padres, and the Padres ain't been playing great, dude. Like,
no, and I hate that. I hate that. I want them to play so good.
I
Not,
mean, to be honest with you, I just I don't even have an opinion on the Padres anymore. They just disappointed me so much. Like
yeah.
like the perfect trade deadline you could, like the best trade deadline you could ever ask for, and everyone's gotten worse with them.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
just
that's
nuts.
why a team like the Brewers is even, being considered right here where we're considering them,
Yeah.
because they're still in the hunt. But as far as the Brewers are concerned, I mean, took one off the Cardinals tonight, got another chance tomorrow. We'll see what happens. 1-8 score
Hmm.
tonight. Took 2 out of 3 off the Reds. Took a doubleheader off the Giants. Did lose back-to-back series with the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. But by the way, I saw where Zach Gallen's scoreless inning streak come to an end at 44 to third. I know you're a big Zach Gallen streether, so
Yeah,
had
I
to
love me some Zach Gallen.
throw that in there for you, Nick. But old Kutch homers tonight, so you love to see that. They've got guys that that you like to see do well, like Willie Adames, Andrew McCutchen. I love to see Yelich do good. I really, really
Yeah,
like to
I
see Yelich do good just because of like what he's been through with the slump and the years of slump and just like trying to get back to some sort of name value of like everybody knows who Christian Yelich is, but everybody has such high expectations too, of what he did do and everything. Hunter Renfro's been a guy that's hit streaks for them that's been just
hmm
absolutely insane. And I didn't
yeah.
think Hunter Renfro would be a guy that would ever be like in that category again. I felt like it was kind of just going to be a slow decline. But like you said, name value of pitching looks good. If they can put it together, they've got a couple guys that could get hot and help them.
hmm
Uh, I like Rowdy Tellez.
Yeah, everybody likes Rowdy.
Everybody likes Rowdy. Now, I don't know if anybody that like. Listen, I ain't gonna say nothing bad about Colton Wong, but I don't know if anybody gets excited about old Colton Wong. But
I hate Colton Wong with
I
everything
just
in me.
sheesh. Anyway, 2 games back, you said, of a team that's struggling. Milwaukee 7 out of their last 10. Just they're just there. They're just
Hmm.
right there. And then you see your lineup, and when you can't help but compare it to the Padres lineup, and you're like, no way, not a chance. And then they're right there 2 games back.
Yep.
So I, you know, they could do more to help themselves every year at the trade deadline. I feel like, but as far as in the way of their lineup and their bats, but you can't say much. I mean, like they are always in the hunt.
Yeah.
But
I think we probably need to skip through some of these lower teams on the list so we have
yeah, I
time to
got
cover
you.
the top guys.
13, I had Cleveland. Who did you have
Yeah.
at you said
I
who
had the
you
Orioles.
you had the Orioles, so I can talk. And Cleveland, you had at
12.
12, so we could roll over them real quick. Getting the job done in the Central. 3 games up, seven of their last 10.
Mhm.
At this point, Cleveland is a respectable ball club in my opinion. They took the last 2 off the Angels. They swept the Twins. Like, Twins are done for sure. Twins are done now. Swept the Twins, made them look foolish. 2 out of 3 against the Royals. The only thing they've done lately that was a little disappointing, and against a good ball team, was they got swept by the Mariners.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the Mariners are a team right now that I feel like is just as dangerous as anybody.
Yeah. The Mariners are scary for sure.
Yeah, but as far as like Cleveland goes, I feel like there's no way that they do anything in the playoffs. That
Oh no.
they just don't have the sticks up and down the lineup to get it done in the playoffs.
No, absolutely not.
A lot of younger guys and a lot of role play guys that you're just, you're hanging on by a thread with.
Hmm.
Um, Guys like, and I'm talking about guys like Ahmed Rosario and Owen Miller and these guys that you're just kind of hanging on with. You're just like, you're good enough to go to the
Hmm.
playoffs, but not good enough to show out.
Hmm. And I mean, they have the superstars. They have Jose Ramirez, Andres Jimenez,
Exactly.
Shane Bieber, Emmanuel Clase in the bullpen. I mean, they aren't a bad team. It's just that overall they're a little weak when it comes to depth.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, you've got some exciting young players,
Hmm.
like Quan especially and everything, but I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time still, I think, for the Cleveland Guardians. They need a couple things before they're able to make a run.
Yeah.
Um, at 12, I had Milwaukee. We already talked about Milwaukee. Who'd you have
Hmm.
at 12?
The Guardians. We just talked about
Okay,
them,
we
so we're
just
good.
talked
Let's go
about
to
them.
11.
11, I had the Padres.
I had the Padres as well, so
I
that's
feel like
good.
this
So,
is this is as low as you can put their really good lineup, but as high as you can put them for how bad they have been. Like I just feel like that's what you got to go with the Padres, and it's disappointing. Like you said, we would have
mhm,
liked to have seen them close a gap on the Dodgers, or at least be semi-competitive on that front. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers recently. Actually won 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks, and they had another series against the Dodgers back there where they lost 2 out of 3 again. So
mhm.
I mean, no knock on them. The Dodgers are a good team. They got through that. Tonight they're beating the Mariners 1-0. We get to see them play the Mariners again tomorrow night. So I I think with the Padres, like you said, trade pieces not being what they were supposed to be, and I just don't think the pitching will be able to get it done against really good lineups, in my opinion. Other
I'll
than you
be
Darvish.
honest.
Other than you Darvish, maybe.
I think you're forgetting about
Yeah, well,
Joe
I mean,
Musgrove.
you're going to talk about Joe Musgrove. I know you're going to talk about Joe
Joe
Musgrove.
Musgrove is a freaking stud. Do not ever disrespect Joe
Well,
Musgrove.
the reason why I mentioned you Darvish, even tonight, you Darvish is 3-5 of one hit ball against the Mariners.
I mean,
So
Darvish is good. They have Clevenger and Snell as well, so it's not like they're bad.
yeah, and then the other night, that the reason why I didn't mention Musgrove right off the top, Musgrove was 5 1/3. It was the Dodgers, 4 earned. Just one of those things where it's the Dodgers, and they're gonna
Mhm.
get at you somehow. So, what sticks out most for you about the Padres while they try to just like secure the third spot in the wild card?
I mean, nothing about the Padres sticks out to me now, dude. They've just underperformed it. They did the exact same thing last year. Looked like a World Series contender, like a good team pushing for the playoffs, and then just faded and faded and faded. And then this year they actually made a ton of huge trades, and they're still fading. They're metting right now. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're metting.
They are a little bit, and I did think it just took some wins out of the sails even more when Tatis had that situation come about. I do think
Yeah.
when the Padres win, it's the pieces they already had. It's
Hmm.
Grisham, it's Cronenworth, it's Machado, it's these guys that are getting it done for them.
Yeah.
The guys they already had, but I mean, that's understandable too. Those guys are already
Yeah.
comfortable in the system. So yeah, I don't know of anybody like. I think you have to give respect to the Padres, but I don't know of any of the top teams that are just like scared of the Padres right now. Which and they
No, not
and they
really.
should have been. They should have
Mhm.
been. At number 10, I had the Rays at number 10.
I've got the Rays at 9, but I've got the Phillies at 10.
Same thing. I got
Okay.
Phillies at 9. So
Okay.
back and forth on that. Which one do you want to talk about first?
It doesn't matter to me. We can talk about the Phillies, I guess, because I hate the Phillies. Get them out of
Okay.
the way.
You hate the
Uh,
Phillies. They've won 4 in a row.
well, they still,
It
it's,
was the Nationals and the Marlins, to be fair.
yeah, but I think at this point, the Phillies are out of the division. I don't think that they can catch up because I don't think that the Mets or Braves will lose enough for them to catch up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They're hoping really that they don't fall. They know they're not getting the second because the second wild card spot's going to go to either the Mets or the Braves, whoever doesn't win the division. So
Or
they're hoping,
the first wild card spot will.
or the first wild card spot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They're either hoping for the second. I don't know because they had to play the Mets or the Braves.
Yeah,
I might be
exactly.
I
Like
might be hoping for the third, so
exactly.
that
I
way you
think
can
I
play
think
the.
they're
But I don't know. The Cardinals are studs too.
I don't know. I think I would rather play if I was the Phillies, I would rather play the Cardinals than two teams that, I mean, I know weird stuff happens in Philadelphia, man, but I would rather play the Cardinals than mess with the Mets or the Braves, who have played you all year, who have so much like as far as lineup to lineup are just like they outmatch you hard.
Yeah,
I know the Cardinals have so much talent too, but I think I'd rather play a team that I haven't played as much.
I don't
My
know,
opinion.
dude. I think their best case is the Cardinals, but I still don't see the Phillies making it out of the wild card round
Yeah,
in any scenario.
I worry about their pitching for sure.
Uh, well, in a wild card scenario, you got Nolan Wheeler coming at you, so you might be tough. If you take one of those two games, you're probably thinking, all right, we might have this third game in the bag.
Yeah,
But
and
you might get shut out for Aiden in both of those games.
who do you think they go to in a third game at that point? I don't think
Your
we
mama. I don't
are
know.
we Syndergaarding it game 3?
Probably. If it's against the
Probably. I
Mets,
mean, like
yes. If
I
it's
don't think
against the Mets, yes.
I
He's getting revenge.
yeah, I don't think we're rolling out Ranger Suarez or anything in game
And
3.
I'm going Syndergaard over him, and then
Yeah,
Suarez can be the guy if Syndergaard gets lit up in the first or something.
yeah, absolutely. I like you said, just the depth isn't there. Haven't
Mm-mm.
been. Uh, the bullpen is impressive, but after the first two guys, it's not. Or
Mm-mm.
first two or
Yeah.
three guys there, it's not. They've just they allow more runs than they really need to. Their offense is streaky at
Mm-hmm.
best. Like here lately, they've allowed just 6, 3, 5, 5 against teams that really don't have prolific offenses anyway.
Yeah.
But like you said, maybe a chance with two guys in the front there that look pretty good. Here the next couple weeks we're going to tell a lot about the Phillies. They got a 3-game set coming up against the Braves, then the Blue Jays, then the Braves a 4-game set, and then they move on from there. But I mean that's a really really tough 10-game stretch right
Mm-hmm.
there. So we'll know more about the Phillies then. Maybe they're hoping for that third spot.
Yeah.
And
All
we'll
right.
go to
Let's move on to the Rays.
Yeah, I'm ready to kind of like just chill it with the Rays here. Lost 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays, lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees, swept the Red Sox, did what they needed to do there, and took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees before that.
Mhm.
So here lately, kind of on the wrong end of things. They got to play the Blue Jays again, then they go actually have a good series against the Rangers, then they go Stros, Blue Jays, just some tough games after that.
Mhm. I mean, again, I don't hate the Rays. I have all three American League wildcard teams right here in a row,
Yeah,
and I think they're all relatively similar teams in
yeah.
essence of how I would grade their team as an overall. Like they have different ways of winning, but they're all like around the same grade as a team for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the thing that excites me most about the Rays is guys like Jeffrey Springs and Drew Rasmussen. Like these guys have actually been very, very formidable for the Rays in like a 4 to 5 inning role. Like Springs actually went 6 innings today in game 1 of the doubleheader. But those are the guys that actually I've enjoyed most, like with the McClanahan absence.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you can get 4 or 5 innings, the Rays have always found a way to be pretty reliable as far as like bullpen and just pieces in the postseason and everything. Just finding ways to get the job done.
And I think they have shown some great resiliency this year. They're 79-62. They've been without Wander Franco most of the year. They haven't had Tyler Glasnow at all. Shane
Yep.
Baz has made like 5 starts. McClanahan just went down.
Yep.
They Brandon Lau missed most of the year. Like, dude, they had injury after injury after injury to all of their actually big name players.
Yep.
And they're still winning. They're still figuring out ways to win.
Yeah. Guys like Yandy Diaz have been really big for them too.
Yeah.
That guy's popped off this year,
They
just
just find
generally.
role players like crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
You got to see guys like a Rosarena and Peralta step up for them down the stretch and in the playoffs if they're going to want to do anything
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, they've just got to have more. And Franco's going to be fine. I feel like he'll slot
Yeah.
right back in
He's
just fine.
fine.
So, but yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Like in eighth place, in eighth I have the Blue Jays.
I had the Blue Jays at eighth as well.
Yep. And then in seventh I have the Mariners.
I do as well.
So, as far as the Blue Jays are concerned, we were talking about something the other day, Nick. We were talking, actually, it was a couple weeks ago, and we said we were going to think about doing a video of the most disappointing players. And the first name that you brought up was Bo Bichette.
And
And
but you know what I said?
and what'd you say?
I said he might hit 15 home runs this next month and just shut me right the heck up. And you know what he's doing? He's gonna hit 15 home runs this month. That's
This
what's gonna
dude has come out of no, and ever since you said that, I was like,
happen,
Nick
dude.
has unlocked the beast.
For real,
Like,
dude. He has like 6 home runs since I said that.
but this is what we expect from the Blue Jays. Like
Yes,
when
this
you look at the,
crazy powerhouse
yes,
offense. When
absolutely.
you've got an offense that features George Springer, Vlad Jr., Bo Bichette, shoot, who else am I missing? Matt Chapman. Like that top five right there alone is crazy. Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
You got guys like
Nuts.
Alejandro
Alejandro
Kirk,
Kirk, dude.
I
Like
mean,
that's 8 hitters right there, dude. That's 8 players, and
you've
you're
got
naming all stars in the 8th spot.
You traded for an all-star, and he comes off the bench a lot of times for you, Whit Merrifield. I mean, so and you got guys like, Kevin Biggio might be able to give you something every now and then. Ramel Tapia might be able to give you something every now and then. Just some good role players too,
Mm,
especially on the defensive side of things. You got two absolute bombshells at the top of your rotation there in Manoa and Gosman.
yeah,
So I mean, like, and they have some pretty good bullpen pieces. Romano has been very very good this year with a
yeah,
1.94. So it's hard not to like the Blue Jays down the stretch, especially you gotta think, how do they match up against the top 5 or 6 teams in baseball?
yeah,
And the Blue Jays are a team that could come into a series hot and get it done against a team,
yeah.
especially early in a series.
Hmm.
So I look forward to it. I really look forward to it for the Blue
Yeah,
Jays.
I think the Blue Jays are a team that could go. I don't know how it'll line up in the postseason. Down this in 2 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
I think they could make it. I think they legitimately could beat any team in the American League except for the Astros. Like I think the Astros are just far and away right now the best team in the American League.
Yeah. What I hate is we might be headed for a Mariners Blue Jays series to start the playoffs, and that kind of stinks. Like I was really looking
Yeah.
forward to maybe both of those teams
The one
coming out.
thing, the one thing I still hate about how the playoff set up is, these three teams right here, the Rays, Blue Jays, and Mariners, all would be up 4 to 5 games on the Guardians,
Yeah.
and the Guardians are going to have a better postseason route than them.
Yeah, so if the Rays are the third seed in the wild card, they honestly get an easier matchup than
Yeah.
either the Mariners or the Blue Jays. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's rough. That's really rough.
Mm-hmm.
You would like to see the Mariners almost get the third seed, and then you would like to see the Mariners and the Blue Jays advance and
Mm-hmm.
take on the Yankees and the Astros. I would love both those series for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the Mariners here. Recently, took 2 out of 3 against the Braves, stole one in Game 3. Man, gosh, almighty, like. But before that, actually skidded a little bit against the White Sox there, swept the Guardians. We just talked about that. Here lately they have tonight they're down 1-0 against the Padres. They play the Padres again. Then they've got a 4-game set against the Angels. Then they got a 3-game set against the A's. Then they got a 3-game set against the Royals. Then a 3-game set against the Rangers. These dudes could go to the number 1 seed, the wild card,
Dude.
before it's over with. It's just a lot to like about the Mariners lineup and what they're doing.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, you love the young studs and Julio and Mitch Haniger's not really young anymore, but he's still a stud.
yeah,
And they've had like 2 week periods of having Kyle Lewis back,
yeah.
and he's always great when he's on the field, but he's had a big problem staying on the field, since his rookie year.
They have some guys that could get hot. Guys like Ty France,
Mhm.
Eugenio Suarez,
Yeah.
Carlos Santana got hot in the Braves game. Jesse Winker, J.P. Crawford is actually like very serviceable at shortstop. Adam Frazier's been trying to hit the ball a little bit lately, coming out of nowhere here. But I don't know. There's just a lot to like about their lineup. They have a lot of
Yeah.
guys that could really step up in certain situations. I think the only thing you worry about is their rotation, other
Yeah.
than the top of it.
Hmm.
So you got Luis Castillo up there.
Yeah.
You got
And then you got Robbie Ray.
yeah, you got Robbie Ray, who I don't think scares anybody per se.
I
The
won't
Brave
say
the
that he
Braves handled
scares
him.
you. Yeah, I don't say that he scares you, but I'm gonna say that you ain't gonna be surprised if he goes 7 innings, gives up two.
Yeah, now I like a guy in Game 3 like Marco Gonzalez. I know he's got a 3.89, but the
I
whip is pretty decent.
I
I
don't like Marco Gonzalez
You
at
don't
all.
like Marco Gonzalez.
I hate Marco Gonzalez. He does not throw hard, and
Yeah.
he for a pitcher who relies on movement and accuracy, he's not extremely accurate.
Yeah, so do you
uh
think do you think it would be Robbie Ray or Castillo in a Game 1?
oh, it's Castillo. If it's not Castillo, unless he started the last game of the year to like try
Yeah,
and clinch a
okay.
playoff spot or something.
I
If
see what you're
if
saying.
Castillo's available, it's Castillo every single time.
Absolutely. I was almost thinking like you might could go Robbie Ray, Castillo, then back to Marco for a little bit of a speed change per se, but But no, Marco had a good start last one. That's kind of what I was looking at here. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned against the Braves, and then the Braves went on to absolutely destroy the Seattle bullpen. So I think you got to worry about that as Seattle. Just like pitching in general after those first couple of starter arms might be the problem. But I'm ready to do number 6, and then we can almost like. We can just see where we get to, and
Hmm.
then stitch it in. I think my number 6 is probably your number 6. I think
Who's your number six?
you got to say first. I've been saying
Oh,
first this whole
oh,
time.
okay. The Yankees.
Oh,
Who you got six?
golly, I got Cardinals 6,
Okay.
and I think that's a respectable switch. Like you could have either one of those. I feel like, and I I don't want to say I'm leaning record for the Yankees. I am liking what I've been seeing lately a little bit more. I do feel a little bit better about it. But as far as the Cardinals go, I mean, we know what the Cardinals have. They've, why did the Cardinals? I'm, as a Braves fan, I mean, I don't think we're in any situation where we would have to play the Cardinals, so I don't think we'd have to worry about that. The Cardinals always match up good against the Braves, so I think that always sticks in the back of a Braves mind. Like it just seems like the Cardinals
I'm
always
gonna
play them
say
tough.
no. The Cardinals in the regular season, ever since the 2019 blow up in Game Five from Mike Foltynewicz, the
Yeah.
Braves have owned the Cardinals in every aspect of everything. I don't think they had like a 10-game road winning streak in St. Louis, and they had like some kind of ungodly record at home against them.
I don't know. I just feel like I feel like the Cardinals postseason prowess, like just kind of they just match up with whoever, and that just kind of like sticks out in my mind when I think
Uh,
about those things. I don't know. Like last year, wild card game
got
against
walked off.
the Dodgers got walked off. Couple years prior, you had the Braves situation. They're always there. Like I just feel like they're always there. They're always competitive. And now I feel like they have the big guys and some guys that are having just outstanding seasons to be able to really make a run here. You got guys heating up on their
Mhm.
lineup too. So I can they put together enough pitching to get it done? Can Jack Flaherty be a piece for him in the
No,
playoffs?
dude, Jack Flaherty. If you draft him in your fantasy league next year, delete the app off your phone and never do another draft again.
Hmm.
The man cannot stay healthy. If he's healthy and he's had 30 starts in September, don't pick him up. I don't care. He's gonna get hurt when you pick him up. I promise.
Yeah.
I I hate everything about Jack Flaherty because he might be like there at the games, I don't know, but he is never out there on the field for his team, dude.
Yeah. I do think for the Cardinals, you do one thing that I have a concern about is about he's absolutely disgusting. So I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine. The last week or so, Helsley hasn't kind of been as dominant.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when a dude throws the way he does, it just takes, about 9 fastballs and just walk back to the
No.
dugout sometimes. So like you said, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Tyler O'Neill has showed some flashes here at the end of the season to maybe like go on a little bit of a run himself. I know we're all Tyler O'Neill fans. It's the biceps. But Nolan Gorman, you got guys like Tommy Edman, Albert Pujols is obviously you got a lot of you got a
Dude,
lot of hype. You got a lot of hype around the home run chase. I mean, and
he's gonna get it.
every home run he hits just lifts that team up one more time.
Yep.
So it's just hard not to feel good about the Cardinals going into the postseason.
No, I feel good about the Cardinals. I think I think they could surprise any team but the Dodgers maybe.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think between Phillies and Padres, do you see either one of those teams being able to beat the Cardinals?
Unless something goes weird with the Cardinals pitching,
The
really.
pitching, yeah, it is the pitching because the Phillies would have, we already talked about the 2 starters that they would have at the top, and then obviously the Padres would have Musgrove and Darvish at the top. With the Phillies, you're just, I mean with the Cardinals, I'm sorry, with the Cardinals, you're just like, do we match up with those 2 guys? Like our starters and their starters, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I really think the Cardinals would be really heavy bullpen in the postseason.
Yeah, but I mean, Wayno is a postseason goat.
Yeah,
Um, And then Monty's been great with them. Jordan Montgomery's been great for them ever
Yeah,
since they traded for him.
you're
So
absolutely right, and
it's
and
their 1-2 doesn't have quite the name value that Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler have,
yeah.
but they are still good options.
And I tell you who actually upsets me, like a guy that I thought was going to be just good throughout, and then he kind of got hurt. Miles Mikolas. I thought
Yeah,
I
that
thought he
hurts.
was going to be a little bit more like consistent throughout. Then he got hurt, come back, not really found his footing again here.
Yeah,
As like a third guy. I mean, and you're kind of middling for a third guy right now because Flaherty's back and he's nah.
yeah,
So I don't know where you're going in a game 3 situation. So,
right,
but no, I mean you got to feel good about the lineup for sure.
right.
Okay. Switching over, here we go. Top 5 MLB Power Rankings. And I know that Cardinals were actually your fifth, so technically
Mhm.
we're talking about your sixth, my fifth right here
Yeah,
in the New York Yankees. And I'll let you
yeah.
start it with the New York Yankees.
Obviously you have to love what Aaron Judge is doing. You like that they're getting some of their injured guys back.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you like that they're getting their act together a little bit. And I thought about putting them in the top 5, but I was like, you know what? The Cardinals have had their act together for a little while now. And I think that just at this moment, I'm more scared of the Cardinals than the Yankees.
I understand what you're saying for sure. That's a respectable opinion. I can't say, that I would be
Yeah, and I mean, I can.
happy to play either team.
Oh, right, 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 right. But
Yeah.
and I don't think that having them flip flopped is anything crazy either.
No, no. The Yankees have been taking care of business lately. They took two
Yeah.
out of three against the Rays. That was a good series there. Took 2 out of the 3 games that they actually got to play against they took one, two, three out of the 4 games against the Twins. Um, so I mean, they've been battling back and doing what
Hmm.
they need to do. Like you said, I do think it has a lot to do with getting guys back from injury.
Hmm.
They've gotten Stanton back, they've gotten Donaldson back, they've
Hmm.
gotten a couple guys, and those are guys, every single day they're not going to be a superstar for you, but they are going to put on just these spurts of absolute just dominance that helps your team.
Yep.
I don't think you could put Stanton and Donaldson in the same category by any means, but Stanton is going to put on some runs that mirrors what
Oh,
Judge
dude,
is doing.
he'll hit 5 homers in a week sometime. He's just gonna
Yeah,
do. He just gets on hot streaks like that.
yeah, absolutely. And then tonight they win in 10 innings and Judge hits 2 more home runs.
Yep. Stud.
Uh, and it's just one of those things where like it's death by 1,000 cuts. They could kill you in so many ways,
Yeah.
and they could kill you with some small ball too. They got guys like Kiner Falefa who I'm obviously real big on and everything, but
Don't
they've got these
understand that.
guys that just they've got a little bit of everything this year. I feel like they did a good job putting this lineup together. I know they were slumping, but like you said, injuries can really kill the momentum.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, when you're on a super team record like that, like a run like they were to start the season, they were fully healthy. All their guys were performing like they should. And then it's just you can't sustain it when you lose a bunch of guys, especially some of your bigger guys. And it's just it, I think if they stayed healthy the whole year, they might be they might still have a top 1 or 2 record in baseball. Really,
Absolutely, I understand what you're saying. We can move right along number 4. Who did you have at number 4?
New York Mets.
I had the New York Mets as well. I think it is time and it is safe and it is not bandwagoning to
Mm-mm.
go ahead and say that the Braves are a better power ranking wise ball team than the New York Mets. I think we saw that in the last series that they played against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Mets they've had a great year. They've done what they set out to do.
Yeah.
They're gonna make the postseason. Don't know if it's gonna be as the division lead or as the number 1 wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they've they've kind of middled around here the last 2 games against the Cubs. They handled 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. They handled 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. Some series that you would have
Yeah.
liked to have seen them sweep. 2 out of 3. They lost 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. That didn't
Yeah.
help.
Yeah. And during that time, the Braves had like a 9 game win streak or an 8 game win streak.
Yeah, and
And
The Mets have still some easy games coming up here. They got a 3 game set against the Pirates.
mm-hmm.
Then they've got the Brewers, who can be a little bit more difficult. Then they got a 3 game set against the Athletics. They go 2 against the Marlins. Then they're finally back into a series against the Braves at the end of the month.
Yeah. I mean, the Braves are up. 4-1 right now in the seventh. Hopefully, and they got running on second and third, nobody out. Hopefully, they score some more and put this game
Yep.
away.
Yep.
And
So
then
half a
they
game.
and
Half a game,
they
right?
would be half a game back. And earlier last week they took the lead in the division for the first time in the year. They have the best record in baseball since June 1st. They have
And the Mets, you
the
said, had the fourth, right?
yeah. I think the Mets have the fourth. I don't know what it is
That's
now, but I
that's
know at least like
insane.
yeah.
Two
And
teams in the top five.
and and I hope that if there's anyone that is a Mets fan that watches this, I'm not disrespecting the Mets by putting the Braves ahead of them. Like, really, you don't understand that you guys have been without DeGrom and still have a better record than the Braves. That's nuts to me.
Yeah.
Really, like I'm still very impressed and very very scared of the Mets. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. The last two losses for the Cubs. You saw last two losses against the Cubs. You saw Chris Bassett fall apart, three and two
Yeah.
thirds, five earned. He's a guy that was really, really good for them at the beginning of the
Mm-hmm.
year when they were building up this lead in the division. And you saw Jacob DeGrom give up 3 runs. Now he still had 10 Ks
Yeah.
in 6 innings, but he did give up 3 runs, and his counterpart goes six with no earned. And to be honest with you, it says A Sampson. I don't know what his first name is. So that's a situation we're in with the Mets though right now, where they're kind of dropping some games that they
Yeah.
shouldn't be dropping.
Right.
And we've seen that. We've seen that with them. We've seen that with the Phillies.
And we've seen it with the Braves too.
And I mean, yeah, just sometimes a good team just shows up against another good team because they just know.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you play a middling team and you're just not all there, and
Right.
you're not as locked in as you need to be. By no means do I think the Mets are going to hit some kind of dip here at the end of the season.
No.
It'll be really close down to the bitter end with them and the
I'm
Braves for the division.
I've been saying this for the last month and a half. I really think that 3 game series, the next to last series of the year, will probably decide or show you who's going to win this division. Because
Absolutely.
I think the Braves play the Marlins the 3 games after that, and they play the Nationals. So that's both teams looking at sweeps there for that.
Yep.
So you don't think it's going to change too much there? You're looking probably at what the final standings might be after that series. I think.
Yeah. The Scherzer needs to get right. He needs to
Yeah,
get healthy here.
that could be a huge, huge blow for the Mets in the
Mhm.
next couple weeks. Really.
DeGrom's going to be fine. I feel
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. I feel pretty decent about the Mets bullpen. Obviously, you have the best closer in baseball right now.
Yep.
Guys like Lindor really have to just catch fire here.
Yep.
Lindor has to catch fire, and they need to figure out what they're doing over at third base. Honestly, like if Eduardo Escobar is just not going to be the guy, give Beatty more of a shot. I guess have they sent him down yet?
I don't know if they sent him down because September call-ups. There's not really a point in sending him down,
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't think they're playing him as much.
yeah.
And I think third base was one of the positions they were really like they thought were secure at the beginning of the year because
Hmm.
Eduardo Escobar hit like 30 home runs last year. They're like
Yeah,
he's going to be fine all year,
yeah.
but he's just hadn't been that guy this year.
I mean, I think that guys like Nemo, McNeil, Alonso will give you what they need to give you. I think Canna kind of gives you what he needs to give you,
Yeah, on
but
base machine this year for
they
sure.
need more from Lindor. They need more
Yep.
from Lindor, and they need more from whoever they're putting over at the third base spot
Yep.
for sure. Uh, and then obviously they're waiting for Marte to get back off the injured list.
Yeah.
So, it's a 10-day injured list. I heard that it could be a little longer for sure. I heard that 10 days was not really what they were thinking right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be a situation where they're gone for 2 weeks plus, and that does change things toward the top of the order for sure. So
Yeah, definitely.
Lindor's just got to step up in my opinion. That's
Yeah,
one guy that's got to go big for him here.
for sure.
In the third spot, I did have the Atlanta Braves.
Have the Braves
I
as
feel
well.
like you just have to give too much respect to the top two teams right now to
Mm-hmm.
say like, oh yeah, well now I think the Braves match up great with those two teams, and it would be a great series, but I do think you have to give that respect to
Mm-hmm.
those two right now. Um, Other than that little 3 game stretch there where they lost 2 1-run ball games, a ball game they came way back and should have won.
Yeah.
A game against the Giants where it was just kind of the offense just middled around for too long. Before that though, the Braves won one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Was it nine? Was it 8 or 9 in a row?
I think it was 9, but it could have been 8. So don't rag on
And
me if it was 8.
and it was against teams that they should win against.
Right.
Teams that they need to get the job done against, and they
And
did.
the 2 games they lost back to back. Actually, the 3 straight games they lost were close games, and
Absolutely.
2 of them. I mean, I feel like at this point in the season with what the Giants have, you should not lose unless maybe Carlos Rodon's pitching or Logan Webb, maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But
And at
when
7 innings, no earned against Alex Cobb.
dude,
So that's a hurt. That's a hurt. That hits you in the little feels there. And then Dansby Swanson getting hot right now is pretty nice for the Braves, I will say. I would like to see a little bit more out of Matt Olson right
yep,
now,
yep,
for sure. Riley, I
um,
feel like is going to be fine. Obviously, we know he is. Michael Harris, just beautiful.
dude,
Travis
he's
d'Arnaud. I'm always pleased with Travis d'Arnaud
dude
too.
for what he is, the game caller that he is for the offense that he brings at the catcher position is unmatched. I mean, there are better catchers out there, yes, but with the roster we have, we don't need the best catcher in baseball. We need a good defensive catcher that can call a great game and still bang out some homers from time to time, and he hits for a
Yeah.
decently high average with a good OPS.
You hate it for Contreras because Acuna Jr. is going to be in that DH spot a lot, probably as
Yep.
we move forward here.
Yep.
Grossman has done a great job. I actually really liked the other night against the Giants seeing Eddie Rosario go 3 for 3. That made me feel pretty good.
And
He's a
he's one
guy.
for three tonight too.
Yeah, he's a guy that could really catch fire down the stretch. They've got so many
Absolutely.
bats on the bench that I'm just like, gosh, like that guy could really, for another team, this guy
Hey,
could be a great, great piece, and he's on our bench.
I don't know if you saw this, but I saw tonight Ozzy Albies went 5 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a walk-off homer. Now I've seen
Oh my
enough. Call him
goodness,
up.
man.
Call them up.
Yeah, and
Call
and
them
that
up.
kind of shuts down the Eddie Rosario hype train too, because immediately Vaughn Grisham's going to left field most
Yep.
likely. Now I could see maybe Eddie splitting time with Grossman maybe, but I honestly I just like Grossman here lately. He's really done what he needs to do for the Braves.
I mean, he
He
hasn't gotten a lot of hits. Like he hasn't hitting for a high average with the Braves, but he's slugging a lot higher than he was. And he's
than he
getting
was. Yep.
it seems like he's just getting hits when he needs to get big hits. Like
hmm
he's been coming up clutch like crazy. He'll go 1 for 3 with an RBI like every game.
I do feel like even with the knee discomfort, Ronald Acuna Jr. is kind of putting together a little stretch here where he's starting to figure it out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like he's getting there.
I think the
And I'm
best
not
thing
worried
for
about the
him.
Braves. I was gonna say
Well,
I'm not worried about the Braves pitching at all. Like I feel really good
no.
about the Braves pitching.
Um, I don't. I won't feel good about it if Snick continues to put Kenley in the ninth inning. I just
Yeah, yeah.
I can't talk about. I'm gonna get so mad. I'm gonna say every 4 letter word on the sun on this podcast. I don't want to do that. Michael Harris
Well,
has
I tell
been.
you,
I'll take. Hold on. Sorry, I don't
go
mean to
ahead, go
cut you
ahead.
off.
You go,
But
you go, you go, you go, you go, you go.
where Olson and Riley at times, Swanson at times, not here lately, Acuna at times have fallen off. I feel like Harris has really picked up a big part of that. He has been
Yeah,
insane lately, dude. He's batting 314 and has a 911 OPS, dude.
yeah. I'm telling you, you know, a little. Who would you compare his swing to?
Based pure swing path and what it looks like, Jordan
Yeah.
Alvarez.
Yeah,
But
I was almost going to say at times, not when he goes to the left side, but when he pulls the ball, it can be a little Jock Peterson-esque as well.
yeah, I mean he has big boy power for a smaller guy.
He does. He really does. And I think it's just his length,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think it's bat speed and just barreling the ball. He's consistently barreling the ball up. Now I know
Yeah, he
he
does.
hits the ball on the ground a lot, but he still hits the
Yeah,
crap out of the ball on the ground.
yeah, he finds the sweet spot often.
Yeah.
The one question I have for you, and then we'll move on
What's
to
up?
our next team. Where do you think Mike Soroka slots in going down the stretch here for the Braves entering the postseason?
Odorizzi needs to go somewhere else, and Mike Soroka needs to take his spot in the rotation, or you give Bryce Elder or Kyle Muller a shot every fifth day.
Yeah.
Jake Odorizzi cannot be in this rotation any longer. He's not
Yeah.
good. He's not good.
I hate that. And that's, back-to-back years where we've missed on a pitching guy that we've tried to acquire at the
Yeah.
deadline there. The hitters have worked out nicely though.
Yeah, for the
So,
most part, they have. Yeah,
yeah, but now the Braves, like you said, we're not short of starters that deserve an opportunity.
for sure.
So I don't think you're worried or anything.
No,
Just like I'd like to see Mike Soroka be some sort of piece in this postseason run.
I still think your 4 man rotation for a postseason is set because you have your off days and you can work a 4 man rotation.
Absolutely.
I still
I
think
don't.
it's Freed, Strider, Morton, Wright, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think you could take it away from any one of those
Nope.
guys.
I
Like
don't think you can give Soroka the ball over them. They've been here and been great. Morton has had his moments of awfulness, but for the most part, they've all been great all year long.
absolutely. My number two team, Stros.
Stros. I have the Stros as well.
Stros at two. Doing what they need to do lately, beating some middling teams, winning some
Yep.
series, 2 out of 3 games in most of them. They've been winning. Uh, Hard to say a lot bad about the Stros. Is
Only
Verlander back?
thing
Is Verlander back yet?
he is not back yet. Today was his first day eligible, but I saw on the report that it said he was hoping to come back either Friday or Saturday.
Okay. Are we
So he's not
thinking?
out for much longer.
Are we minor league starting it, or are we coming straight back?
Oh no, he's coming straight back. He's like
Okay.
throwing like simulated games and stuff right now.
Okay. And then, you like the lineup. The lineup's always good.
Yeah.
Altuve, Pena. You love what you've seen from Pena this year. Now, the average has dipped some, but the WAR is still great.
Yep.
Defensive stud. And at the top of a lineup with guys like Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker behind him.
Yeah.
Uh, I like Mancini. I like Gurriel. I know Gurriel has had a little bit of a down year, but
Hmm.
he's a guy that could catch fire and have a great average going into the
Yeah.
postseason. Christian Vasquez, him and Maldonado behind the plate. You're not
Yeah.
mad about like just there's a lot, and I think that the bullpen is actually scary good with how much experience and veteran leadership
Hmm.
they have on
Yeah.
the on this Stros team. You got guys like Stanek, you got guys like, dare I say, Will Smith. You've got and then you've got the Braves own this guy, Hector Neris.
Yeah. Yeah. That Braves football
I
team is
don't
god
think I'll be
awful.
worried about Hector Neris rolling out there against the
No.
Braves in the playoffs, but yeah, Framber Valdez, Jose Urquidy, just a lot of guys that you're just like, man, that guy's a good ball player.
Hmm.
Man, that guy's a good ball player. You just keep
Yeah.
saying it for pretty much everybody.
And I don't think you can really say anything much more about the Astros just because they're, I think, cut and dry right now, the second best team in baseball, and I think the number one team in baseball has been cut and dry pretty much the whole year.
Yeah,
I mean, I think maybe you had the Yankees above them before the Yankees' big fallout, but
yeah,
still, the Dodgers have been there all year. They haven't had a fallout yet, and
yeah.
I don't think they will. They're just too good, and they've stayed healthy all year for the most part, other than Walker Bueller, and I think every one of their pitchers, their bats have stayed healthy.
God, and that's what, a lot of people will say last year that other than just Justin Turner, the rotation really had to deal with some issues in the playoffs there, and that's where they kind of fell short as a team during the playoffs was they just couldn't keep the Braves from scoring runs.
Yeah.
And that's really hurt him down the stretch there, not having a 100% Max Scherzer. And we're kind of seeing that again here at the end of the Mets season with Max Scherzer. He's a guy that he's not a young guy anymore, and
Mm-mm.
he goes out there like a madman when he goes
Yeah,
out there. So,
that's true.
um, you still like some of the younger arms for the Dodgers. The bullpen's still pretty nice. I saw a pretty funny video on Facebook the other day, and I don't know if it's still true or not. But Craig Kimbrell hadn't allowed a single earned run since he changed his walkout song to Frozen.
What a pimp.
Yeah, so it's
Uh,
Frozen's Let It Go. He
oh
he did
my
that or
god,
something like that, and
that's nuts.
and then he hadn't allowed a run like the last like 6 times he had jogged out to that song or something.
I
Uh,
I hear it. All right.
And they handled business against the Padres recently, just reminding them where they is belong. But anyway, I tell you who has surprised me down the stretch here, and I'm not a big fan of his, but Andrew Haney or Haney, however you want to
Heaney,
pronounce it, Haney.
Heaney.
A 2.84 this season, a resurgence with a team that has the bats behind him to support him too.
I'm telling you, bro, Mark Pryor is a wizard in that pitching engine that they have developed. He
Yeah,
is a wizard. He can turn anyone into a stud. I'm
yeah.
telling you.
Guys to look out for in the postseason. I mean, obviously, you worry about old Bruce Deuce and coming out of the bullpen. You worry about Vesia. I think Vesia is almost a little bit. I don't like him, but he's a tough guy out of the pen for the Dodgers. Like not
Yeah, and
just
what
in the
about
six,
Trinan?
seven.
Is Trinan hurt?
I don't know where he is quite yet on his road to recovery slash back in the lineup. I'm looking at some games here just to see if we've seen any Trinan sightings, and I haven't seen a single one yet. So,
Yeesh.
um, and it looks like they're leaning heavy on Vesia. It looks like Chris Martin's getting several innings. Um, I haven't even really seen a lot of Bruce Deuce in these games either. Craig Kimbrell's getting several innings. His ERA's coming down.
Mhm.
To be fair, Chris Martin's ERA has came down tremendously since he
Yeah,
was traded. So you got to feel good about that. He's got the pitching repertoire to do it too. Now here
yeah.
is a Blake Trinan sighting. Blake Trinan pitched on 9-3, so maybe I missed another game in there somewhere, but Blake Trinan pitched 1 inning and gave up nothing. Actually, only threw 5 pitches. So,
Hey,
you know,
if Trinan's healthy and he's there, always a threat. He can
uh-huh.
shut his team down. The Braves have had some success against him in the past, mainly Austin Riley. Austin Riley's kind of his daddy, but I mean, I think no matter who you're a fan of, you really like you really like the odds that it's Dodgers Astros again, the World Series, another a
Yeah,
rematch.
yeah. I think Urias or however you want to pronounce it. I can't stand pronouncing names the wrong way, but I think he has to go nuclear for them
Yeah,
as their two man. I really do. He just he is a great piece for them. Has been for a long time. He's got 2.29 this year. Last time I
yeah.
checked,
Let's lead
so
the National League.
he's he's got to go nuclear. They really need him to lock it down, especially if with Bueller gone and everything like that. So,
Yeah,
but no, I guess we're about to find out in about 20-ish games how this is all going to stack out.
yeah, and I think whenever the season's over, I think we will do a power rankings for the teams going like heading into the postseason,
Hmm.
and then I think we'll probably each fill out a playoff bracket of
Yep.
how it's actually going to be set up and how
Yep.
we think it's going to go.
Yeah, predictions for each series like 3-1,
Yeah.
2-1, with the wild card stuff and everything. Uh, I look forward to it. I think this might be, I know the two top teams have been the two top teams. I think
Hmm.
there's at least, 8 teams that I'm really excited to see in the postseason. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I had the Rays at 9. From Rays up,
okay. I was
I
gonna
feel
go Blue
good.
Jays up. I was gonna go Blue Jays up. So, yeah, other than that, I mean, we've got some teams that have a lot of potential. They're just kind of teeter-tottering back and forth of like, are we going to do it? Or are we not? But no, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Hopefully the Braves lock up this win tonight.
yeah.
Get back within
Hope
half a
so.
game. We
Yeah,
appreciate the support, everybody. We know that we've
yeah,
been talking more fantasy football and NFL lately.
yeah,
We do know that some of our MLB videos were really catching traction though before we switched over here.
yeah.
But tomorrow we'll be back talking about the Thursday night matchup,
Which
Chargers
is Chiefs.
Chiefs.
That's a good one.
Oh,
I'm ready to talk about. I'm excited to talk about that one. Um, Probably gonna have one of us at least gonna have some kind of crazy take. I'm sure.
oh, for sure.
So
Gotta go with
y'all,
the bold
yeah,
predictions.
oh yeah, y'all gotta check it out. There's about to be a video under Colby, and there's about to be a little option to subscribe under me. Y'all gotta hit that, and then y'all gotta go watch that other video. Make sure you're liking and commenting what you want to see.
Yep.
That if you guys want to see something, make sure to let us know. We'll make
Yep.
sure to cover it.
We appreciate the support.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank y'all.